On the show today, we'll talk movies as we pair into Hollywood and the box office. As always, you can join the conversation with the hashtag Beyond Market, and you can follow my Twitter handle too at Esther Ubudaga. Now, you've seen him in the multi-billion-dollar Star Wars franchise. Now, he's taken on Hollywood by storm as a formidable actor. Joining me in the show today, in the set today, is John Boyega. John, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to have you.
You okay?
I'm all right.
Yeah.
Now, you're here in Nigeria. It's not your first time in Lagos. You're here to promote the movie Pacific Rim Uprising.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a big franchise also.
Yeah.
But talk to us about the movie. I mean, the script, and is it going to be a one-off? I mean, the budget. Take us through the numbers.
Pacific Rim Uprising is actually a sequel to the first Pacific Rim, which starred Idris Elba, and I actually play his son. Okay. And it's about a young man who's a bit of a rogue, a bit troublesome, who has to change his ways and become a leader for the next generation of pilots. And it's big war, cities are destroyed, and it's a big action epic.
The script, rather, let's talk about the numbers. How big is this movie?
$150 million.
Well, were you nervous handling that kind of amount of money? And were you nervous about, the finished product and how audiences will take it?
Well, thankfully, my production company, Upper Room Entertainment, we co-produced with Universal. So handling funds wasn't necessarily the issue, but it's having to shoot a movie like this with such scale in a short amount of time, which for us is 7 months. Normally, these movies take longer, and it comes with its challenges.
So you were both producer and you also starred in the movie.
Yeah, two hats.
What was that? What was that like?
No, it's fantastic. I mean, you find yourself acting, and then once they call cut, you run over to the monitors and do your producing and guide the story in a creative way.
How nervous did that make you? I mean, obviously, first time. Was that the first time you did it?
Yeah, first time producing, yeah. Definitely not nervous. I felt like I was backed up by a great team. And also, this is something that I've prepared for a long time. I actually founded my company in 2015. And so I had a few years to warm up and know the industry behind the screens as well as in front of it.
Okay, I know you have a couple of other irons in the fire. Talk to us about projects. Project in the pipeline.
I'm actually developing a British TV series with a newcomer director called Sebastian Till. And the production company that done my first movie, Attack the Block, I'm teaming up with them. I won't star in it this time. I'll wear one hat as a producer. But basically, it's a show about our childhoods as Black Nigerians growing up in the UK and in London, the challenges we face, the cultural clashes, and a lot of exciting stuff.
Okay, not exactly sci-fi, because I know you've been cast into that category, that genre of sci-fi, and you have said that you're open to other, genres. You're open, but except for horror.
Horror for me. Man, I don't know. It's a bit too scary for me. But I've done other genres. I've done a drama out in Nigeria called Half of Yellow Sun, and then I've done Detroit. And so I like to mix it up a bit, and so dramas is what I want to, fixate on right now.
Now, there's this conversation ongoing in Hollywood right now about, more diversity. We saw that with, Star Wars that you starred in. Not too much, but we saw that, a lot of that in Black Panther. Yeah. And there's talk about, coming down to Africa. There's so many ideas, so many stories that can be told. And I know that you said through your production company that you're looking for good stories, I suppose, wherever you can find them.
Yeah.
And for someone who's from Africa, specifically Nigeria, I'm thinking, what are your thoughts on the Nigerian movie industry and coming in to sort of merge Hollywood and Nigeria to tell those great stories?
I think it's a great opportunity. Now producing, I have the opportunity to kind of lead this ongoing movement of merging the worlds of Nollywood and the quality of Hollywood. I think Nigerian stories are dear to our hearts, but need to be captured in a great way, and we can't do that without Nigerians who know Nigeria for what it is. I'm one of those. I just got back, so even though the passion is there, we still need people that are on ground to kind of teach us the ways and balance us out, so we can collaborate.
There are a couple of good actors, actresses, producers, storytellers here. So I'm thinking you already have that. So
yeah,
can we see that being taken a step further?
Yeah, the biggest thing is capturing epic stories and to film and to capture Nigeria in a way that's never been seen before. But that always starts with a script that comes from an interesting perspective. So
should we expect something in a not too distant
future?
Specifically,
we are currently at a writing stage. I think Black Panther was a larger than life, imagination project. Now we need something that is a true Nigerian
original
story.
stories, maybe like
Original
from
stories, yeah.
gods from the past. And
Yeah,
all of
yeah.
that.
There's a whole from the spiritual realm to what has happened physically, the rich history in Nigeria, the political history, something that we want to explore. You know, the great careers of people like Fela Kuti, and you know, these are stories that are important to be told.
Okay, now there's gonna be a screening here in Lagos.
Yes.
You're also gonna be popping up.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Tell us about that.
I won't tell you exactly when, but definitely will be popping up on some Pacific Rim fans. And you know, it was very, very important to me because I've just come from a long tour to finish off with Nigeria and do some nice screenings here.
But what's the feedback you've heard so far?
Yeah, everyone loves it. I mean, it's great because producing this, I had the ability to kind of like merge the worlds a tad and give little subtle hints at Jake Pentecost, the lead character, being Nigerian. And so Wizkid's Daddy-O is something that we put in the movie. You know, you're going to see some people in Ankara. It's like there's a vibe going on.
African vibe, okay.
Yeah, and so that's something that's fun to always do.
Okay, so I'm thinking, I'm not sure if I've asked this question already for this movie. Is it going to be I know it's a big franchise. Is it going to be a one-off?
Well, it depends. I mean, currently we're on good numbers. We started strong domestic, and then we're waiting on international. We haven't yet released in Japan. So there's a few other territories that we're releasing, and that will determine, you know, what happens next. But
what are your expectations?
I'm tired.
What are your expectations? I mean, the movie's doing well right now, but what are your expectations?
Yeah. And for me, I would love to expand the story. Okay. I'd love to expand the story to get more insight into the character, and to bring in new characters as well would be very, very cool.
Now, I've noticed that. I mean, you're English, you're Nigerian, originally Nigerian, but I've noticed that many actors that come out from the likes of Australia, especially England, they always, to break into that movie industry, it has to be done in Hollywood. You have to go to US, you have to go to Hollywood. I'm just wondering, is that going to change, or are we still on that path? What needs to happen to change that?
I don't think it necessarily needs to be changed. I think it's okay to go to a different territory and learn an art form and to aspire to something more. I think the United States obviously is geographically so big, so there's more opportunity, more variety. So
it's like a movie HQ, and you make it to the HQ family. Why not?
But the funny thing is, I went out to LA. I didn't move to LA, but I went out to LA to hustle. But when I came back to London, I booked Star Wars in London. So, you know, the hustle and bustle of LA teaches you business etiquette and obviously what it requires to handle this career in top form. Okay,
speaking about Hollywood, let me take you back a bit. I know you have a background in theatre, and I know that I've heard actors say that gives you a very good grounding to face the challenges of the proper acting world. Tell us about how you went into the movie industry and how that helped you specifically.
I was working in theatre as an amateur because I just loved it. It was a hobby to me, and then I met a young man called Femi Oguns, who is the head teacher of Identity Drama School, and at the time it was a black drama school set up to give opportunities for people like myself. We hit it off, and we got a great chemistry and decided to collaborate with each other. And then he said, you know, we want to make history, we want to get into films, and auditions started coming, and I just kept on trying until something broke. And
of course, speaking about something breaking, 2014, I mean, you got this call to be part of this multi-billion-dollar franchise, and of course, you played the first black state trooper.
So
I mean, what does it feel like being part of this multi-billion-dollar franchise and the legacy that comes with it?
I mean, you know, the billions is not in my account. If it was, you know, but it's nice to be a part of a legacy. You know, the strange feeling is just that you see yourself every day, you know, on people's T-shirts, on people's bags. It's just, Star Wars is such a cultural phenomenon, especially back in the UK and in the States, and so it's strange, but I love it though. It's a blessing, and I've welcomed it with open arms.
I just want to ask also, in what ways would you say it's significantly changed your life? Would you say it's changed your life forever?
I mean, it's changed my life because, you know, I feel like I'm part of a family that is historical. You know that you basically are immortalized, and which is strange. But at the same time, it's the opportunity for me to do other work. You know, Pacific Rim wouldn't exist if I didn't have the opportunity of Star Wars, and so that opportunity reminds you each day of the first, you know, break that you got.
Back to the issue of diversity, I guess they tried to make it a little more diverse. Some might argue not diverse enough, but did you feel under pressure to meet that expectation of wanting to make it look diverse and feel diverse at the same time?
I mean, it's not any pressure. I think the assumption is when people want more diversity in movies that you're just gonna hire people based on the color of their skin, which is no. What we're going to do is locate the talented people who just so happen to be a part of a minority, and it's just important. People want to see the world that they live in reflected on screen, unless it's not believable, you know. And so for me, I'm happy to be a part of that. And setting up my company is something that helps, you know, that agenda.
Why did you, I mean, I know many actors who would have been actors for years, over a decade, and they didn't think about wanting to have their own production companies. They're just, you know, they're good actors.
Yes.
And probably they maybe don't feel like it's their calling to have their own thing. But why did you set out on that journey? Why have your own?
Because I think, you know, the ability to have creative control, you get to control the stories, you get to kind of, you know, school and educate the powers that be into other diverse stories that they may not have heard about. You know, unfortunately, not every studio executive in Hollywood is Nigerian or knows about Nigeria or Africa in general. They need to be educated. And it takes certain individuals with certain backgrounds like myself to merge those worlds. And I think that it's an opportunity that, you know, I'm just like, it feels like a great opportunity to take.
And it wasn't difficult, because I know Hollywood can be a very, very difficult place. We've heard about all the stories
very,
about
very
the
difficult,
cliques.
you know, yeah.
Some have described it as a cult. You need to break into certain cliques and circles to make it. I mean, being a Nigerian, being black, and some might still call you, you know, relatively a newcomer on the scene. How has it been towing that path, having your own thing, and trying to, like you said, control the stories and you know, get more creative ideas out?
I mean, it comes with its challenges, you know, it really does. But I never set out with the mentality that there will be no challenges. I kind of realized that the challenges kind of guide you in a way, the same way failure guides you as into how to do better the next time. And so I think that, you know, being in the industry in which there are obstacles and particular people who may not agree with your agenda or your vision, you can still locate other people who do. And that's one thing that has been a blessing for me.
Okay, John, hold that thought for us. We'll take a quick break and we'll come back and pick up from where we left off. I've been speaking to Hollywood actor John Boyega. Hollywood actor John Boyega is still with me in the studio, and we're discussing his journey into Hollywood. John, thank you for your time so far. Now, I've heard some people refer to you as an overnight success. What is your reaction to that when you hear that kind of statement? I have heard it, yes?
Lord.
Yes.
I think that's just a general statement, but nothing happens overnight, you know. I've hustled, I've slept on sofas, I've sold my belongings.
But you know, we don't get to see that part. So everybody, you come up on screen, 2015, 2014, it's Star Wars, next thing it's Pacific Rim, and everybody's like, where has he been the whole time? Yeah,
I mean, you know, we don't all know each other, so there isn't access. But yeah, nothing is overnight. You know, it takes a long time to work this out. But you know, I've been blessed though. I can't complain.
Okay, what would you say has been your most challenging role so far?
Challenging role, I definitely feel my role in Detroit was definitely challenging. Handling racial issues like that at a time where, you know, racial issues are still pretty rife in the United States, and I was playing a real person, a person who actually lives till today. So that comes with a challenging responsibility. And
there's a lot of also typecasting. I mean, we talked about genres a few minutes ago. How rife is that also in Hollywood? I mean, the director sees you, they've seen your previous movies, and they want you to come and fit that same role in the new script that they have. And you want to, you want to expand and you want to do other things, but they're like, no, that this is what we see you as. Do you have to deal with that? Yeah,
definitely. I mean, you always have people offering you scripts based on the last thing you've done, and I don't get how they don't get the memo. No actor likes that. So, you know, I happily and positively ignore and aim towards scripts and individuals that want more of a versatility in roles, because, you know, that's all I do. I can be in a war movie based in Nigeria and then go on to Star Wars, then go on to something like Pacific Rim and do something like Detroit. You know, I like to explore various different sides to my artistry, and I'm glad I've been given the opportunity to do that.
Now, sometimes I get, because I mean, I've listened to interviews, you know, with actors, actresses, and sometimes I get the feeling that, you know, being in Hollywood obviously is very difficult, and especially if you're just starting out, there's that impression that, look, take what comes your way. You can always make that, you know, room for yourself later on, but, you know, try and make a name for yourself. If you've been cast into a stereotype, you don't like it, but you just do it for now, because who knows where that can lead to. So do you feel like you're in a place in your career where you're comfortable to say, you know what, I won't do that, I'll do this instead? Yeah. You can be picky and say, you know what,
yeah, definitely. I mean, there was a strange balance in the beginning of my career in which I was picky, but I also chose the roles that I knew that would be offered to me, but there's always a twist. You know, like Attack the Block was a hoodlum role that normally in the UK at the time they're just dishing out to loads of black actors, but it was a movie with a twist. There was an alien attack in the hood in London, which is something we haven't seen before. That gives a unique edge to your character and it interests the audience.
Look, for your career progression, what do you see? I mean, how do you see your career progressing 10, 15 years down the line? What is that plan or that map that you're hoping will play out? Well,
for me, you know, in our industry, you know, especially with how long these movies take, you've got to be careful thinking about 2020, 2021, because that's when our movies are released, and sometimes our mind is so fixated on that time. But I'm going to keep on developing under my company. I'm reading scripts right now, you know, some really diverse, fantastic, versatile characters that are coming my way. It's a great opportunity. But next up, I'm going to rest up until July and then I start another Star Wars movie.
Well, you're exhausted.
I am. Oh, man, I'm finished. I mean, if you see the way my mind is seeing this place right now, I don't even know where I am, but, you know.
I can imagine. Let's talk about the Marvel rumors. The rumors that you could be in a Marvel movie in the not-too-distant future. You've had talks with them.
Yeah, I mean, I had a meeting.
Some characters have been suggested. Tell us about that.
I had a meeting a few years ago with Marvel, and it was a great meeting. And these meetings are not uncommon, and you know, it's great to go down there and talk to them about what could potentially happen. But for now, you know, I won't be putting on a superhero suit.
Nothing on the table, but is the opportunity there?
I'd love to. I'd love to collaborate. You know, they make fantastic stories. But I think they're doing very, very well right now.
Do you think that would be too early for you in your career to, you know, go into one of those suits and then, I mean, every time?
No, you know, if you've been in Star Wars in space, I mean, you know, a suit won't hurt. But I think for me, it's just about what I personally would want to do, and then now having a company, there's so much commitment to that. You have to pat in a good enough time.
Now, I've heard people say that you look like Denzel Washington, and I knew that.
I look like my dad from Abeokuta.
So, what is that your usual response? Okay, so, oh my God, you look like Denzel Washington.
I don't see it.
You don't think it's a compliment?
No, he's a good-looking guy, but you know, if you take that compliment, you know, I mean, he's good. He's very good-looking. So you know, it's you've got to be careful with that.
Or you're just trying to be modest and I know you.
Nah, man. You know, I don't look at myself every day in the mirror and go, wow, that's Denzel Washington in there. That's not something that really happens to me on a day-to-day basis.
Let's talk about your roots. You're from Nigeria, and you've been here in Lagos a couple of times. What is your? I mean, what's your impression about the country? I know you still have family here.
Yeah, most of my family is.
How important is that for you? I mean, still sticking to your roots and just keep coming back home.
It's very important, but you know, at a very young age, my dad made it a point to fly us back and forth from Nigeria. And when we had certain family events, my granddad passed away too. We came down to Nigeria a few good times. So I've been back and forth, and then obviously working here, you know, on Half of Yellow Sun was a new experience. So I feel like I've experienced Nigeria in so many different ways. You know, the first time, I can't lie, I came through the airport. That oxygen, it felt like someone put a plastic bag over my head. And I just remember as a young kid being 10 years old and just being like, wow, this is I can't breathe. Wow. It's so hot.
Yeah, I know,
but now I'm used to it. You know, Lagos is great. You know, Nigeria in general. You know, there are issues. We can't ignore that. But at the end of the day, I believe in the hope of the people, and I like, you know, where we're going right now. Okay. In London, in the States, we are the forefront of African culture and music and entertainment. And there's so many Nigerian individuals who are reconnecting back to their roots. And I think I'm just, you know, proud that real Nigerians who are born and raised here still accept us, you know. Okay. And bring us into. And not look at you
from afar and go.
Yeah. You know,
one of them.
Because it's, you know, they you know, it's good to know that they understand that, you know, just because we're from the UK doesn't mean that we
or just because you're a Hollywood actor. I mean,
yeah,
it's a big deal, but I mean,
it's not.
That's a big deal actually if you're.
Yeah. You know, you still need to wash your hands before you have that pounded yam. So it is what it is.
Well, when you were growing up, did you picture this? Did you imagine that? I mean, your life go in this direction, that you know, be a top Hollywood actor, have your own production company, and do big things in the movie industry? Well, before you went into theatre, I mean, when you were much younger.
When I was much younger, starting off, no, it wasn't. I didn't really get or understand the industry side. I didn't even know that you could make a paycheck from it. It wasn't a real job in my head until I started getting involved, you know, much more professionally and seeing examples around. But once I set the goal, you know, there's no choice but to aim for the stars, you know. And being in London, where there's opportunity, there's an infrastructure, there's several different things you can get involved in. You know, in my mind, I was like, why not? I'm going to aim for the best, to be the best that I can be. Yeah, I think it worked out all right.
Okay, obviously.
Yeah.
When you're not doing movies, what else are you doing? I know you want to go back and sleep.
Like,
There's a lot of
someone has said it.
Catching up to do.
Sleep.
But what else do you like to do?
I like to travel. I like to go on holiday. I'm a video gamer, so I like to be inside as well, just to chill and watch TV. I think that the funny thing is, because work makes you travel a lot, at times you just want to be in one place, you know, be with mom and dad and, you know, my siblings and just, you know, relax.
But how's your family taking the fame? I mean, you're close friends. I know you're from Peckham. You're close. I know you have a very close, tight-knit family and also friends.
Yeah.
I know that, I mean, I read a story about you. I think it was a Star Wars premiere on the red carpet.
Yeah,
you had a bunch of them with you.
Yeah.
And you were like, you know, take the cameras to them instead.
Yeah.
I mean, how are your friends taking it and how's it been for your family?
Everyone is fine. You know, the funny thing is, it's more of a transition for the people around you than it is for you. I think a lot of people, when you're going into Hollywood, they say, don't change. And it's not necessarily you that will change. It's the people around you, because you've been training for it and you visualized potentially that you could make this kind of success happen. Whereas for them, they just see you leave the house, get on flights and don't see the specifics. And then it just happens and it's a major shock for them. But my parents have handled it well. I mean, they're very peaceful, quiet people who just like to be, you know. Yeah, they're laid back about it. You know, my dad's happy, you know, it's all good.
So with all this success, obviously, has come the money.
Yeah. I can't lie.
So how have you been able to manage the money? And what is that one, there's two questions now, that one big splurge you've had?
Managing money, you know, when you're broke for so long, you don't want to lose a penny. Even when £1 can come out of $1 million, it's not $1 million anymore.
Yeah, true.
You know?
It's
so that mentality stays with you. But, you know, my biggest splurge was getting a house for my parents in London. You know, we planned it. You know, I tricked my dad into thinking that I was doing like an interview for Star Wars. I brought him to the house and got him a better house for himself and obviously my mum. So that was fantastic to do. So
do you see yourself having maybe operating in some capacity or, I don't know, out of Lagos, out of Nigeria?
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to have an official base here, you know, and you know, knowing that I'm coming here so frequently and this 6-hour flight is so short, you know, it's a great opportunity for me. And also, you know, if we are developing these Nigerian stories, we need to be on ground. So definitely that's part of the plan. So, I mean,
way down the line, what do you want to be known for? Either professionally, especially professionally, what do you want to be known for? That John Boyega was this, or if you're talking about this, it's John Boyega.
I don't know.
Everybody has their own thing.
I don't necessarily think of that. I don't think of what to be known for. What I really fixate on is what I'm doing, you know, how I carry myself and the stories I like to tell. And I feel like you can't control the masses' opinions, you know. It is what it is, take it or leave it, you know. But I'll do my best to be the best that I can be. And that's all I can really and truly do, you know.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, obviously, speaking about not being able to control, there's rumors also. There's been all kinds of rumors, especially about your love life. But what would you say is the funniest rumor you've heard about yourself that's obviously not true, as in no truth in it, but perhaps made you laugh or made you go, huh?
You know, I don't get a lot of your love life, and I don't get a lot of that. I don't get a lot of that.
Why I would be interested in your love life.
No. You know, be interested. You know, I'm interested in my love life. I mean, I think it needs to, you know, pick up a little bit, but.
But there's several. I mean, if you just Google, they're like, you know, John Boyega's girlfriend, this and that. And
I have a lot of female friends that people don't believe that I'm not dating. But for me, it's not a big deal. You know, they're beautiful, they're cool, but not everybody that's beautiful is for you. You can't have them all. But you know, I date. You know, I go out on dates. I take girls out. You know, all that kind of stuff. I'm a young 26-year-old man like anybody else. So, you know.
I know.
Thicker is better, by the way. Thicker is better.
Okay. We'll take note of that. We'll write that down. John, thank you so much. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on.
Pleasure. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. I've been speaking to Hollywood actor John Boyega.